Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. I thank you all for joining us for the live today. This is the third session of the CSIR AIM Demystify Science series. My name is Tanvi Mishra, a young professional from Atal Innovation Mission, and I welcome you all for this session. This series aims at bringing experts from science and innovation field, scientists and thought leaders who take up one topic each and demystify it for you. The goal is to demystify science and innovation for students so that they are able to tinker and enjoy. Today, we have with us Dr. Jeetendra Sharma, the Managing Director and Founder CEO of Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone AMTZ, which is Asia's first medical devices manufacturing park. He is Founder Executive Director of Kalam Institute of Health Technology that serves as Medical Technology Policy Institute to various departments and ministries of the Government of India. It is an honor for us to have you, sir, with us. Thank you for joining us. And now I would like to hand it over to you to demystify the topic for our young tinker.
Thank you, Tanvi, and greetings from the beach city of Visakhapatnam. I think home to many scientists. Something unique about this city is one of the foremost scientists that we know about, Bharat Ratna Dr. C.V. Raman, was also a student of Visakhapatnam. Uh, that was perhaps also why medical technology, which is a humongous subject in itself, uh, was architected to be around this city in this lovely place called Vishakhapatnam. Now, um, I will be sharing with all of you uh, some tidbits, some nuances about innovations in medical technology and in healthcare. Many of you may not be from healthcare background or practice of healthcare, but what you must understand is uh, medical technology is technology which is applied to medicine. But what is applied to medicine, something could be as mechanical as a wheelchair, which is in itself like a bicycle, and bicycle is not a medical device, or an operation theater light, which if you take out of the operation theater is perhaps just like any other light with perhaps better luminescence, better light and better features. So one pillar of demystifying medical technology is to understand that there is nothing called medical technology. Any technology, when applied to medicine and practice of healthcare, becomes medical technology. And to that extent, we must ensure its safety, efficacy, and user friendliness, and that qualifies the product to be a medical technology. It could be used for diagnosis, it could be used for monitoring, it could be used for treatment, it could be used for rehab, it could be used for palliative care, and so on. Now, someone once said, science is about knowledge, innovation is about practice. So, knowing science is one thing, but when you practice science for the benefit of your stakeholders, your clients, the community, patients in our case, it becomes innovation. And therefore, let me give you a very simple fabric of medical technology. I understand that many of you must be looking for ideas. Uh, for ideas to come and hit the right sweet spot, you must be looking for problem statements. How do you get problem statements? Because your knowledge in sensor, your knowledge in physics, your knowledge in biology, your knowledge in quantum physics, your knowledge in biophysics, your knowledge in optic fibers, your knowledge in sensors, your knowledge in core mathematics, your knowledge in chemistry, your knowledge in any other branch of science needs to hit a need for it to qualify as an idea that can change the need or fulfill the need. Now, in healthcare, what we simply do is, and this is perhaps you can do for any sector, we list out top 10 killers of disease, top 10 diseases that are killers in India. Now, these diseases could lead to infection like COVID, could be kidney failure, which requires lifelong dialysis, could could be shrinkage of coronary arteries that require angioplasty. It could be any of those diseases. Top 10. Now, each disease actually can be managed by a set of interventions, say angioplasty for heart attack, say dialysis care for renal failure, and so on. So you imagine a simple Excel sheet in which the first column is the disease, our targets. The second column are interventions that are used to tackle the disease. And the third column is technologies that are applied in doing that intervention. Let us take the example of kidney failure. Kidney failure is a disease that requires almost 4 crore dialysis session in a country. This dialysis can be done by two ways, peritoneal dialysis and hemodialysis. Hemodialysis as an intervention requires a dialysis machine, requires a dialyzer, requires a disalate, requires a dialysis chair, requires an RO plant, and so on. And therefore, one pillar of demystification of medical technology as innovation is to start with disease, which is our target, go to the intervention. From the intervention, go to the technologies that help us perform that intervention. And then from this list, you can pick your problem statements, you can pick your innovation needs, perhaps for products that do not exist, or perhaps products that exist but could be bettered in terms of safety, accuracy, cost effectiveness, and so on. You could also, for example, create service packages like a marketplace where anyone can look for a blood bank or a dialysis center, helping patients reroute and help meet demand and supply in a more coherent manner. So your problem statements could be your targets could be products or services, and those products and services could be things that either do not exist or they exist but in a form which can certainly be improved. So for us, demystification of innovation, demystification of medical technology starts with the target problems that we have to deal with. Now, this approach, target problem to intervention, intervention to technologies and services that helps us provide that intervention. This is a study that has been published already in the Global Clinical Engineering Journal. However, you can apply it for any sector. It can be applied for textiles, it can be applied for logistics, it can be applied for mining, it can be applied for machinery, it can be applied for electronics, and so on and so forth. Intrinsically, every sector, every segment will have problems. If we can identify those problems, map them to interventions, and those interventions could be mapped to technologies, those technologies are the vision statements that all of you can carry into your labs and prototype facilities. That's one pillar, one point that I wanted to share. The second point is, once you have worked on a statement, you have provided a solution or are keen to provide a solution, what are we left with? We are left with a set of people who would like to provide for solution, a set of clients or investors or manufacturers or customers that are keen to take the solution. So we have a demand and supply paradox in which there is a bunch of suppliers of innovation and ideas, and there is a bunch of stakeholders, There are a bunch of stakeholders which are keen to adopt and demand those ideas. How do we link them? I'm going to show you a simple screen and let me know if you can see. Uh, this is the screen of Kalam Institute of Health Technology. I hope you are able to see it.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Yes, it's visible.
Now, and this is a Government of India project institute where we do lots of things like um, merging demand and supply, providing trade analysis, market analysis, technology transfer support, and so on. But on this site, if you go to this little word called e-auction, it takes you to a bank approved gateway which allows you to register yourself um, as a technology supplier and you see there is a login. So if you press login, it will go to a registration page and then it will take you to register yourself either as a supplier of technology, supplier of ideas, or a taker of technology, which means the buyer of ideas. Now, if you um, if you go to e-auction, it will again show you what we have done in the in the simple strategy is that um, let me um, let me show you live and then search. Now, what we have done is thousands and thousands and thousands of technology solutions which are ready in hundreds of our academic institutions, research labs, startup portfolios. A free registration is provided to them so that they can register their ideas, the technology readiness level, the uh, auction opening and closing date, and the base price on which the tech transfer can happen. So, right from portable low cost reader to detect and quantify molecular diagnostic assay or guide wire positioning system in orthopedic surgery or early diagnosis of tuberculosis. We have thousands of these technologies where the supplier of ideas, the supplier of technologies, the innovators can actually allow the world to bid for their ideas. And when the world bids, you get the best price because the bidding starts at the base price, which is reflected on the right hand side of the portal. And every bidder can actually bid for a higher value. This ensures that the creator of idea, the creator of technology get the best value for money and the providers get a huge menu from where they can select what is worth buying. What also happens is that the buyer of ideas, the buyer of technologies actually hunt around for good technologies. Sometimes they get, sometimes they do not get, and sometimes they get in not in the right way and at the right price. This portal allows buyer-supplier equilibrium so that if you create in your R&D labs any technology which is crazy, which is innovative, which is path-breaking, you have a marketplace portal to tell to the world that you have something to sell, you have something to partner. That's my second point. My third point, after you have demystified the target statement into interventions into technology, you have worked on the technology, and then you tell the world that you have worked and you are ready with something, and the world should run to buy it from you. What do? Either somebody buys it from you, or you take it to the next level by yourself. Now, when that happens, you need a large number of facilities which would require capital investment that you may not have. The capital required could be in millions and millions of dollars. It could be a prototyping facility, it could be a tool room, it could be a testing lab, it could be a validation center, it could be electronic component supply unit, it could be printed circuit board assembly, it could even be a packaging unit. Now, as a startup, as a budding entrepreneur, if you were to set this up, it will cost a lot. And that's where AIMTZ comes in, which I will share with you now. Let me, yes. So, uh, Yes. Let me know if you are able to see my screen. Are you able to see my screen? Yeah, I
Yes,
think
sir.
it. Yeah. So that's AMTZ, which is world's largest medical device manufacturing hub. Um, we provide for sector specific and sector agnostic unit. The video that you see is um, uh, uh, is a little old, but these are scientific facilities that are available for entrepreneurs, innovators, manufacturers, so that they can come make use of one of world's largest 3D printing center, for example. I am not sure, but if you can see in my video, there is a building behind me with a Rubik's cube. You can also see it on the screen that is now there. So right from one of world's largest 3D printing center to Center for Biomaterial Testing, Center for Electromagnetic Interference and Electrical Safety, Center for Wireless Testing and Acoustics, Center for Radiation, Center for Textiles, incubation centers, printed circuit board line that you see, Silico, Laser Center for Advanced Optics, superconducting magnets, oxygen, bioprinting and synthesis of and tissue reengineering centers, animal lab, call center, radioisotope, sterilization, warehouse, all that is available at a single place at AMTZ. The most comprehensive and world's largest medtech manufacturing and innovation hub. I'm going to close this slide here, uh, but let me summarize what I had to tell. Uh, there are three things that are broad pillars of demystifying science and converting the science, which is knowledge, into innovation, which is practice. One, start with problem statement, which is evidence based. Pick the 5 top problems of the sector you are dealing with. In those problems, figure out the interventions. And for interventions, figure out the solutions. Some of them may exist, some of them may exist, but not in the right shape. Some of them may not exist. What does not exist and what does not exist in the right shape is the product or service you should be innovating. That's takeaway one. Takeaway two, after you have done what you have done, tell the world that you have done it. When you do that, you attract investment, you attract talent, you attract business, you attract credibility. When you attract this, the journey will be faster and would take less time. So what you should do is go to Kalam Institute web portal, which is set up in the name and honor of Dr. Kalam. Put out your free brochure so that the world can know that you are live in the market, that you have created something wonderful and that the world should look at it. And three, if you choose to take that journey forward by yourself, should you need the laboratories, the validation centers, the prototyping facilities, the component engineering facilities, write to us. We would be happy, since one of our centers is also an Atal Incubation Center, led by a wonderful person, Mr. Dilip, who is a medical technologist. If it is you who choose to take forward the mission that you have created for yourself, we would be happy to support you both with validation facilities, component engineering, finance, space, and to a great extent, market access. But in a nutshell, demystifying is breaking down the problem statement, identifying interventions, and from those interventions, identifying opportunities. Demystifying science and innovation is about telling the world in a transparent, ethical, and credible manner the technology that you have done, that you have made, because that's what attracts investment and market to you. And third, figure out a place where you can get all your needs and start your entrepreneurial journey from that place. If you were to link these three things, that would be the triangle of success. And we are always with you to walk the talk should you have any ideas or technologies in health tech space. Thank you and wonderful speaking to all of you. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for conducting this wonderful session. And I would say that you actually broke down all the complex things which people understand and which students, think that it is difficult. How are they going to do it step by step? You actually broke it down and you clearly gave a lot of examples and also gave them a path wherein they can go ahead and take forward their innovations and prototypes also. So thank you, sir. Thank you for joining. And I hope this was a wonderful session in which all our young tinkerers also learned a lot.
Thank you.